Marine Research and Preservation is New York State's only marine mammal and sea turtle rescue program.
Its mission is to preserve and protect our marine environment through rescue, rehabilitation, research, and education.
Animals that are rescued and rehabilitated by the Foundation include dolphins, porpoises, seals, sea turtles, and whales.
Long Island is lucky to be home to the Riverhead Foundation because it is the only rescue team that responds to stranded sea turtles and marine mammals in New York State.
A major component of the Riverhead Foundation is research. Their research includes health assessment, population, rehabilitation techniques, and tracking released animals.
Hi, we're here today at the Research Center at the Riverhead Aquarium, and I'm here with Danielle, and she'll be answering a few questions for us today.
Alright, when did you start volunteering for the Research Center, and why did you do it?
I actually started out as staff, so I didn't volunteer. I started back in 2011. I went to school for marine biology. It was just something that I always had a passion for, and luckily it worked out. They had an opening, I applied, and I got it.
Awesome. And what's your favorite part about working in the Research Center?
I like actually all the underdog cases. So it's very rewarding when an animal comes in and you don't know if it's going to make it, based on the behavior and the blood values and all that. And then to see what a little bit of medicine can do, that's my favorite part, is all the little underdog cases.
That's great. And how does the Research Center contribute to protecting the environment? Do they do outings to clean up beaches or anything?
We have various educational programs, so we do beach cleanups. We do mock journeys to educate the public on what to do if these animals come up on the beaches. Just our work with rehabilitating. That's part of save the environment. Research, we satellite tag our animals and do aerial surveys and things like that as research has helped us. Where are these animals going? What's their population? What are they doing? So that'll all help.
Do you often find free animals coming back with the tags on? Do you find them, or is it someone else finds them with the tags on? And
we put the tags on them. So we have a few animals that are restrands a year, but usually not. Most of our animals that we find are animals that don't have any type of tag on them. There's maybe about 3 or 4 a year that are restranded from our facility or from another facility.
What's the main reasons that the animals end up stranded on the beach? What's their main cause of?
Depends on the type of animal. So our main cause with sea turtles is cold stunning or hypothermia. So they're in New York from June to about mid-October. Once the water hits 50 degrees, they should leave. Sometimes they don't, and then being reptiles and cold-blooded, they need the warmth to survive. So their main issue is cold stunning. These are our cold stun sea turtles. Are you familiar with cold stunning at all?
Yes.
Yes, it's hypothermia, right? So all these guys came in with cold stunning. So the little guy right there, that's a dahlia. And then that guy right here is Estonia. The other two are reserved. We do educational programs, classes. And the class adopts a sea turtle. They put a tag on it so they get to name it. So we're waiting for them to name the turtle. So the other two don't have names yet. And then this is Comanche. Not only was he cold stunned, but he also was hit by a boat. That seemed to be an older injury, so it seems that he got hit by the boat and then he got cold stunned, because if you look, he only has 3 flippers, but it was pretty much healed by the time we got him. It wasn't fresh at all, so we were able to determine that it was an older injury. So,
is there any specific reason they're separated, or is it just?
They're bullies. Our seals, some of the problems we see with seals, a lot of human interaction cases, so whether it's a boat strike or entangled in fishing gear, they get a lot of respiratory issues. This year, a lot of our seals seem to have swollen flippers. So,
did you find the cause for that, or is it just?
Usually the cause of that is they can get a bite from another seal, it gets infected, somehow they puncture it, whether it's from another animal, or they, stick or something like that, they somehow puncture their flipper and then it just ends up getting infected and becomes this kind of nasty, big, pus pocket.
Oh.
That's why this flipper swells up.
And what is the rehabilitation process? You start somewhere and end somewhere with them?
So our animals, when they first come in, we will do a physical exam on them, try to figure out why the animal's stranded. We'll draw their blood, do an external exam, see if there's anything externally we can see, as well as take x-rays and try to figure out what course of action we should take. Most of the animals, when they come in, they aren't eating on their own. It's like you or I. If we're sick, we don't feel good, we don't want to eat, the animals will do the same thing. So the first thing we do in the first 24 hours is we will tube the animal fluids. So it's equivalent to electrolytes for a seal or a sea turtle. We give them that for 24 hours. Then when they're here for 48 hours, we start giving them a fish slurry. So it's the electrolyte solution with fish or squid, whatever it is the animal eats. Put it all in the blender, and then we tube them that for a day. And then on the third day, we can start introducing whole fish. We'll force them, and that's animal dependent. Some animals catch on right away. You only have to force them once, and they'll start eating on their own. Other animals, it could be 3 to 4 weeks before they start eating on their own. So once the animal starts eating on their own, then we do routine checkups. So turtles, it's every month, and seals, it's every 2 weeks that we will do a physical exam. Again, we'll check over their body, and we'll draw their blood, and then give the blood tests to our vets so they can make a determination as to whether or not we need to change their medication.
So you have veterinarians on site who decide what medications to do for that.
Yep.
Awesome. About how many animals per year are you able to rehabilitate throughout the
It's roughly around 40 animals per year. That's seals, turtles.
That's pretty high. Wow. Does pollution in our water have a major effect? Like, is that something you see common, like garbage, plastics, anything like that?
When we do these beach cleanups, we are picking up hundreds of pounds of garbage with every beach cleanup that we do. A lot of our human interaction cases, it's just garbage. We had one animal that had a plastic bag wrapped around its neck. A lot of our turtles, when they don't make it, we always do necropsies or like an animal autopsy to try to figure out the cause of death. And most of the turtles, when we do the examination on them, we find pieces of balloons or plastic or things like that the animals eat. So pollution is definitely a huge problem when it comes to these animals.
And what can people do, like regular everyday people do to help stop that from happening with like pollution and things like that?
Well, definitely proper recycling. If you see garbage, you want to pick it up, especially in our beaches, because it's going to go into the water. The animals are going to eat it. Little things like that. Just proper garbage disposal. Try to use the reusable tote bags instead of plastic bags when you go shopping or things like that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Daniela, so much for the interview. Is there anything else you'd like to add for us today?
Well, I just want to say that if you do see marine mammal or sea turtle on the beach, we have a 24-hour hotline, 631-369-9829. Make sure you call that number. It's 24 hours. Any dead or alive marine mammal or sea turtle, we want to know about it.
Everybody, welcome to our release. My name is Alex. I'm one of the biologists with the Riverhead Foundation, and I want to thank you all for coming out on this gorgeous day to say goodbye to Stingray. Is this anyone's first time at a release? Huh? Awesome, a lot of newbies. I hope to see you guys again later on. We probably won't have another release until June, so keep an eye out on our Facebook, on our website, then come back and see us in June if you guys have a good time today, which I hope you will. Alright, so we will be releasing Stingray today. Stingray is a male gray seal pup. He was rescued back at the end of February, on February 28th from Wainscott, New York, just southeast. Stingray came in, he was lethargic and kind of unresponsive on the beach, and he also had a really swollen hind flipper. So we brought him back to the foundation where we do a full physical on the animals. So we bring them in, we take their weight, we take a bunch of measurements, we draw blood on them, and so we noticed that he had that, really swollen hind flipper and also some oral ulcers. So what we did was we put Stingray on some antibiotics. You'll also notice when you guys see Stingray out, he does still have a little bit of a scar. That swollen flipper did kind of open up, and we were draining that fluid from the flipper. So we did have an open wound for a while, but it's healing up really nicely. So you'll see that the coloration is actually pretty pink. That means that the wound is healing. So we see a lot of seals on the beach sometimes with open wounds. And when we go out and do our assessments, what we're kind of looking for is whether the wound's been like infected or if it's healing, which is that nice pink color. So you'll see that on his right hind flipper. But he's been okay to be released by our vets. So he's already and set to go.
One of the sea turtles at the research center right now is Chestnut. Chestnut is a young Atlantic green sea turtle that was cold stunned and also affected by a boating accident.
When a sea turtle is cold stunned, it has a hypothermic reaction that occurs when animals are exposed to prolonged cold water temperatures. The sea turtles face decreased heart rate, decreased circulation, lethargy, shock, pneumonia, and possibly death.
The reason some sea turtles are faced with this condition is because they are cold-blooded reptiles and depend on other heat sources to determine their body temperature. In order to maintain a safe body temperature, most sea turtles migrate south in the winter months.
Some sea turtles are unable to migrate south before the water temperature decreases because in areas like bays and inlets, the water temperature changes rapidly. The research center rescues and rehabilitates many cold-stunned sea turtles each year.
Boat strikes are another threat to sea turtles. Sea turtles must come to the surface to breathe air, and when they do, they are in the path of many boats.
Boating strikes often cause sea turtles to have amputated flippers, fractured shells, brain injuries, and broken bones. The boating accident could also cause death directly or indirectly, as the animals will have a difficult time finding food or escaping predators.
Chestnut was a boat strike victim, in which he suffered an injury and a problem with physical development. At the moment, Chestnut is non-releasable, and the Riverhead Foundation is looking for a facility that will be able to care for Chestnut permanently.
Chestnut is just one of the sea turtles that the Riverhead Foundation has rescued. Cold stunning and boat strikes are just two of the many factors that cause sea turtles to be an endangered species. Sea turtles and other marine animals are affected by coastal development, pollution, plastics, direct harvest, and invasive species.
like the one behind me, are very important to many marine organisms because they provide important habitats for the organisms to live. Coastal developments are endangering the mangrove swamps around the world. What we're seeing here is an algae bloom, which can happen when too much nitrogen or phosphorus runs into the water from agriculture. And when the algae dies, the bacteria in the water will decay the algae and use up the dissolved oxygen. Without dissolved oxygen, the other fish living in the environment will not be able to breathe and will soon die. And that creates a loss of biodiversity for the marshlands.
Okay.
Ready? Yep. Go. He's not gonna fish it.
Aurora, you want to touch him? Wow.
So let's get your face now, Emily.
What?
Look at me.
You're about 500.
Oh, look, he's flipping himself over. Is that?
These are his gills.
Mm-hmm. Those are book gills, right?
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys in a marine bio class?
I am, yeah.
Sweet.
I'm the only one who listens, though.
Sea turtles, dolphins, and whales.
Crikey, it's a big one.
Any chance we'll be able
Crikey, it's a big one. Crikey, it's a big one. Crikey, it's a big one.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited.